come to a beautiful setting to talk to you about the end of a great career. For a San Diego guy, born and bred here, what does it mean for you to have your career wind up back in the city where you grew
Oh man, it means everything to me. Starting this journey 17 years ago, I didn't know how long it was going to last, how long I was going to be playing for. I definitely questioned my career a few times along the way, and for it to really culminate and for me to be back here in San Diego, it means a lot to me. And being here the last 5 years has been very special.
You know, we'll obviously talk a lot about this particular group of Sockers, but I think it's amazing that you come out of San Diego State, you have an incredible career with the Aztecs, and you're actually selected by the San Diego Sockers. The first team that you're picked to play for in professional indoor soccer is your hometown team. Tell me about that initial experience when you first heard, yes, I'm going to play for this team I grew up watching.
Yeah, it was great because obviously I followed the team growing up. I knew that Brian Quinn was the coach. It was exciting, and unfortunately, as fast as I was drafted, it seemed like a couple days later I found out the team had folded. But kind of like the story I told at the Hall of Champions, it all worked out for the best. I ended up going to Arizona. That's how I met Phil, who obviously now is the owner of the Sockers, and it's really come full circle, and that's really the reason that I'm here right now.
So that first Sockers team, I mean, you didn't even have a chance for that. You got into a team picture, didn't you? I think I've seen you in a team picture.
Yeah, that was actually a different one, but no, there was not even a team picture.
Not that first one.
We did training camp, and then that was it.
So what a disappointment at that time. And now you're shuffling to Arizona, you're shuffling to a different team. What were your thoughts on this sport? Were you thinking, whoa, what am I walking into here?
No, I mean, I was excited. I mean, obviously I was disappointed that the Sockers went away. I went to Arizona, and I was kind of like the last guy picked for that team. Luckily I was hungry as a young player, and I led the team in goals, and that really kind of set up my career for me. And that's what brought me to St. Louis the year after that. And I played 4 of my years out in St. Louis. So I wouldn't change it for anything. I had a great time in Arizona. I learned a lot about the game, and it's really shaped my career for me.
Who do you think is somebody, whether it is a coach or a player early on, who really you felt, looking back, taught you a lot about this game?
Man, there's probably a few of them. I would have to say probably Daryl Duran, the coach in St. Louis when I went out there. He is really the Julie V of St. Louis. He's known throughout the city, playing for the Steamers growing up in the ambush of the late. He's a true target forward, really taught me the game and taught me a lot of skills and tricks that I use still to today. And he's a really great guy. I hold a lot of respect for him, and he's someone that's really added to my career for sure.
Those early days, you're a young guy, you're moving around the country, you're playing some of your games around national TV. What was that experience like, being a young guy out there away from home, being a professional athlete?
Yeah, I mean, dream come true. It's really what any athlete, any sport really dreams about. Being in the limelight, playing in front of fans, being on TV. It was an exciting time, and that's really what's kept me going all these years. Is I think for a lot of us players is feeling the adrenaline rush of being out in the field in front of thousands of people, or having people yelling your name or asking for your autograph. So that's really what keeps us going.
What would you say in those years? What's something you look back at the most fondly? What's one of your biggest career highlights away from San Diego, you'd say?
I would say, I've been playing 17 years. I've been in 9 championships of those 17, and I would say when I was in Cleveland it was a time in my career where I had started the season in St. Louis, and I actually got released halfway through the season. They were shooting a reality TV show of our team, and they were signing a girl to the team. And so they were making this big push and trying to just get ratings, and it was a weird, wacky kind of a year. I ended up being a part of that whole equation of, they had to let a couple players go. I was second on the team in scoring at the time, and it was kind of a head scratcher for me, but it was actually worked out to my benefit because Omid Amazi a great coach who was coaching in Cleveland at the time picked me up halfway through the season. And that was really a time, it was in '07, that really propelled my career. I went to Cleveland, I kind of got that hunger again, the disappointment of getting released. I went there and I had a really good season. We ended up losing in Game 5 of the championship to Milwaukee Wave. And that season has really kind of pushed me over the top in terms of salary. And I played very well, and that's what got me out to California after, but really made me a lot of money in return, actually.
You just described a situation where you were cut for a girl on a reality TV show, basically, and that's why a team cut their second leading scorer, was so that they could try and increase their TV show's ratings. So at what point, or at any point during this time, did you go, what the heck is going on with indoor soccer?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, since the MISL, the 80s, it's really kind of been unstable. I've always, I think like any athlete, would keep our career going really with anything that we could if any team wanted us to play. I've definitely questioned what I was doing a few times. In 2000, I was playing for Wichita Wings. It was the last year at Wichita, and we were on a sleeper bus to every one of our away games, and that made me question my career for sure that year. And I have a few of those stories, but it's like I said before, it's really just competing at a high level, and the camaraderie of your teammates is really what keeps us going.
I know you've had some injury troubles here and there in your career. Is that what you would describe as a low point during your career?
The Cleveland thing that we talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was a low point, because I mean, to me, more a low point is something that you deal with for a longer period of time. Right. For me, that was a two-week, window of where I didn't know what I was going to do, and then it turns out I got picked up by Cleveland. But, I had a couple injuries. I'd say probably the low point of my career would be in 2001 when I came back here to play for the Sockers.
Yeah,
it was
right.
the year after the Wichita Wings. Brian Quinn was the coach again, and he signed me as the first player coming back to San Diego. And I was very excited to come back. That was the first year after the year that I had been drafted. They were bringing the team back. And, unfortunately, I got signed in the summer. Being an action sports guy, growing up in San Diego, I'm a big surfer and skater. They had opened up a skate park in Ocean Beach at the time, and I decided to go out there with a buddy of mine, and I broke my arm really bad. And I would say that would be a very low point for me, because it really has changed my career, changed the way that I play. I don't have full mobility in my elbow as far as touching my shoulder and straightening my arm, and really changed the way that I play. And for me, that was very hard, because I didn't think I was going to play that season. The doctors wouldn't release me, and it was a tough time for me, and it definitely has changed the way that I play the game.
When you had something like that happen in your life, but we're here recording next to the waves for a reason. You're still a guy that goes out there and surfs and enjoys himself. How have you managed to balance that through your career? Was it something where maybe you pick your spots, surfing's a little bit safer than skateboarding per se?
Yeah, the skateboarding thing was silly, because I've skateboarded my whole life as a kid, but I'm really just more of a surfer at heart. Skating was more of a thing when I was a kid. My dad lives, a couple blocks from the beach. He's been a surfer his whole life. I live about a mile from here. I've been lucky enough to be in a situation where I just bought a place up here, and being close to the ocean is important to me. It really gives me peace of mind, and it's something I'll do for the rest of my life. Just being around the water, swimming, diving, surfing is important to me.
So, Aaron, you mentioned you were drafted by the first Sockers. They fold before you can even play for them. You come to the second Sockers, you break your arm horribly. It's a tough spot for you. Your career flourishes away from town. You wind up coming back to California, to Stockton, first with the MISL Cougars, and then they come into this new professional arena soccer league, and you're part of a championship team up there with Brian Farber and Magell and Antonio Sutton, and a lot of guys that soccer fans come to know. So now that takes us to between 2008 and 2009. Phil Salvaggio, Dave Pike, Carl Savoya are trying to bring the Sockers back for a third time as a professional indoor soccer unit. When you heard that, excitement or maybe doubt, seeing as you were exposed to the first 2 times with it falling down?
Yeah, I mean, I think with this sport, there's always doubt. It's extremely tough sport to push in some cities. I mean, it's a niche sport. Luckily for San Diego, we have the history, so we have a little something more going for us than some of these teams that are just trying to start a professional indoor soccer team. When I was with the Cougars, we played a couple exhibition games against the Sockers, so I had seen Phil, I'd seen some of the guys, and I knew they were trying to bring the team back. And for me, with my career, kind of coming to a close, I was looking to come back to San Diego. So obviously for me, it was something that I was going to jump on if I had the chance to. But also with Phil and these guys, Phil's someone that's played in the league, and he's an indoor soccer guy, and that's important. For someone that knows the sport and kind of knows the fans that follow it, and knows San Diego and the team that's been here before. So I think with those, I knew that we were going in the right direction. So I'm happy that they brought me down here and let me be a part of it, for sure.
What does it mean to you to be a captain?
I mean, it's an important thing, especially for the San Diego Sockers. I was captain for the few years up in the Cougars. Obviously this being my 5th year being the captain down here. It's important, it means people look up to you, and they respect you, and I try to lead by example. I try to not get too high, not get too low. Kind of be the guy in the locker room that pushes players, that encourages players, and someone that grew up in San Diego and watched the old Sockers, for me to be the captain is something very special.
Sockers get back together, win the championship that first year, second year win the title, and then the streak began. And this team managed to go through an entire season undefeated, and at the end of that year know that they were going to play the next year with a chance to set sports history. As somebody, we always talk about this now, how it takes a while for something to sink in. A year and a half now past the streak. Does it sink in what kind of special thing you guys were part of? You were the captain of that team for 48 straight wins.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's not really something we think about that much. I mean, at the time, it was just us trying to play good quality soccer. We won the championship. We carried it into the next season, and having someone like yourself around that kept reminding us of it was something that became special towards the end of it, when we kind of really saw what we were doing. It is something really special to look back on, regardless of who you're playing or what level you're playing at. It is very hard to win that many games in a row. So it's definitely something that is great to look back on, and to know that I shared that with my teammates here with the Sockers.
During your career, as your career evolves as a pro, at first you're a wide-eyed player, you're trying to succeed as an individual, you become a captain of a team, you're really thinking along team goals. When you come here to San Diego, not only are you captain of the team on the field, but you're a member of the front office off the field. How has that changed your experiences as you've really been elbows deep, and you've been able to see on both sides of the fence what it's taken to try and restore the Sockers to their place in San Diego sports?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I was never really planning to do that. When I came back to San Diego, I was working, playing for the team, and I'd always kind of worked for a family business of mine that I had, but I'd definitely done a little bit of front office stuff in some of the teams I played in before, and I just feel like some of the mistakes some of those teams made is bringing in people that aren't soccer guys, not indoor soccer guys, and so I thought I had a lot to offer. So I kind of worked my way up, and now that I'm in the position of, doing the corporate sales and selling the advertising, and being able to work with John Quintera and Joe Totino and these guys, and really seeing how things work, it's been good. It's really kind of set me up for a lot of other things that I'm going to be doing in my career now that I'm finishing, and I definitely wouldn't change it for anything. And I hope that they, people, when they look at some of the things that we're doing in the front office, can see how much we care about it, and that we're moving in the right direction.
These last couple of years, the question has been out there for you: is this going to be the year? Are you going to hang it up? Are you going to play another year? You had an incredible year last season. You come back, you're trying to win a 5th straight title with the Sockers. Early on this season, you said, yeah, we're going to hang it up this year. What has it been like, or has there been any struggle between the immediacy of, okay, practice today, game on Saturday, that schedule that you're used to and that routine of here we go, a training, day to day, and then the kind of more long view form of, wow, this is my last year, this could be my last home game, this is one of my last trainings. Have you wrestled with that at all this year?
Yeah, I think I've been wrestling with that for the last 6-7 years of my career. When you get to the end of, a season and you're at the age that I'm at, it takes a lot on your body. I mean, it's hard to, sometimes get up for training, and to get up and the next day when you're so sore and to go back and play at a high level. But, I think at this point in my career, it's definitely time for me to hang it up. And I've had a great run, and I've been lucky to win the last 5 championships in a row. And I just want to make a good run into the playoffs and try to help my team as much as I can, and hopefully we get another title, and I can really go out on top.
How much of a drive is that for you to finish this playoff?
It's everything. I like to consider myself a winner. I think with some of the the stats we talked about, being in 9 championships out of my 17-year career. I played with some great players and played against some of the best players. I think it's important for me to go out on top, and that's definitely what our focus is.
So you don't want to look past that, but there it is, that great horizon right there of what's to come when your career is over. What are your thoughts? You said you've got some things that you're lining up, but what can you share with us?
I don't have a definite answer for you on what I'm doing. I'm lucky enough to have a few options. I do have a coaching offer, and I do have 2 corporate sales job offers that I have that I'm working on right now. So I would have to say that I'm probably going to go in the direction of the corporate sales. Something that I know well and something I enjoy doing. I love interacting with people and being out. Meeting people and not being in front of a computer. So I don't think coaching is going to be the route that I go right now. I've been lucky enough to have a few coaching offers every year for the last 5 years, but it just hasn't been the right thing for me. And I think I need something with a little bit more longevity and something that I'll be doing probably for the rest of my life. So I'll be in sales for sure.
But is it even possible for you to imagine completely divorcing yourself from this sport, not having something to do with it?
With that said too, I definitely have, talk with Phil. He wants me to be a part of this organization, whether it's, assistant coach or helping out with some trainings or, being a liaison on the roads, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll be on some road trips or at the training. I'll be a part of it. All these guys on our team are, are friends of mine, and that's one of the reasons why we're so good and we've been so good in the past is just really the camaraderie and the friendships that we have with each other. I've been on, so many teams, and there's always cliques, and there's always, different relationships that kind of messes up the chemistry of your team when you're on the field. And we don't have that here with the Sockers, and it's really important to our organization, and really something that'll keep me coming back to see all the guys for sure.
Yeah, when you think about Phil Salvaggio, what comes to mind?
A big heart, someone that cares about everybody that he comes in contact with. He tries to take care of everybody in their own little special way. He wants everyone to feel special, and he wants to have a good time. And that's another reason why we are so good, because he takes care of us like in a first-rate organization. The way that we travel and the way that we party together, and just the way that we go to team events together and team meals. And I think the way he treats us really translates our hard work on the field, wanting to give back to him for sure.